Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Shots Fired podcast. It's your boy, Big Joe.
And I'm your boy, Too True.
And we hope you enjoy.
This week on
What the? Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Shots Fired podcast. We start this week off like we do every week with our WTF moment of the week. This week, our WTF goes to none other than Johnny Bones Jones. T, man, did you see that article, that report that came out from TMZ about Jon Jones acting up at the strip club?
all I know is that Jon Jones is a believer in his president.
Man, if anybody took Donald Trump's words to heart, it's Jon Jones, man. So if you guys don't know, haven't heard, didn't catch it, Jon Jones was at a strip club and he got a little rowdy with one of the waitresses.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, of course. Again, this was from TMZ. He got a little rowdy with one of the waitresses, and he was kind of pestering her for a lap dance, kind of telling her, hey, you know, what's up? She kept telling him, I'm a waitress, not a stripper. I can't dance for you. She went and got him a couple of drinks at the bar. She claims he came up behind her and put her in a rear naked choke. She got a little upset about that. He let her go. She said he then flipped her around in the air, tossed her like a rag doll. She said, and it felt more like a wrestling match than anything sexual. She said he put her on the bar, and he decides he's going to slap her in the crotch. What the? She says, if you're going to slap me in the crotch, at least give me $100. Jon Jones said he never did it, and they're saying that, you know, they're kind of disputing it. He says his name will be cleared. At what point do you, as a Jon Jones believer, Jon Jones fan, Jon Jones supporter, decide that enough is enough? Jones is a phenomenal athlete. I would say he will go down as the top pound-for-pound fighter in UFC history, at least up to this point. What he's done in the octagon is second to none. His skills, I've never seen a fighter do what he does in there. His biggest issue is he can't behave outside the octagon. He can't get it together. There's a hit and run. There are multiple drug-related issues. He said he's taking dick pills. That's why he failed a drug test, like the blue pill. The guy he's all over the map, but I think he's bought into his own hype so much that he thinks he's kind of above the law and he's above, you know, reprimand. I don't know, man. What do you think about that whole situation?
My honest opinion, if this incident stands to be true, then we all know Jon Jones has a problem.
I think we've known he's got a problem. It's just how much of a problem.
I mean, again, allegedly.
Right. Can't stress that word enough. Allegedly.
If he slapped this woman on the vajayjay and did all the things that she's claiming that he did, he deserves to be punished. On the opposite hand, just to play devil's advocate, let's just say, for instance, we got the article where it says, you know, the witness didn't see any wrongdoing.
Right.
Anything that's not, you know, what typically goes on in a titty bar.
Right.
If he did not do these things, then we all know what's going on. Somebody's trying to come up. But
trying to secure the bag. She trying to secure the bag, bro?
She trying to secure the bag, man. But because of Jon Jones' past history, you really don't have a choice but to say, man, this could really be true.
You can no longer give Jon Jones the benefit of the doubt. You just can't, unfortunately. And that sucks when you get to that point. But it's kind of like the boy who cried wolf. How many times can you cry wolf before people stop listening?
Yeah, because
how many times can you cry that you're innocent until people stop listening?
Yeah, because like you said, bro, he's a phenomenal athlete. He is the best fighter that I've ever seen. I used to think Anderson Silva was the greatest fighter of all time.
I agree with that.
And then I saw Jon Jones, and it went all out the window. I was like, bro, this dude is amazing.
Yeah.
But all of his off the or outside the octagon issues, it's like, bro, it's similar to Ezekiel Elliott in some regard.
Yeah.
Like, when is it going to stop? When are you going to grow up?
Josh Gordon.
Yeah. You really don't have a choice but to take this at face value and kind of believe it for right now until you get proof or the facts that it didn't happen. But again, allegedly, if he slapped this woman on the private areas and did all the things that she's claiming that he did, there has to be some type of punishment. Like, you've already been suspended from the UFC.
Yeah. Fined. You've been in jail. Like, what else can you do? Like, when are you going to get your life in order? Get your life together. See, to me, the only thing that kind of holds me up on this is if you see a big old dude manhandling a girl at a strip club, a gentleman's club, is nobody going to be paying attention to that?
Right.
I mean, it's not like you can go hide somewhere. He's at the bar doing this, and nobody told him anything. Until we know everything, allegedly, this is what happened. Until we know everything, we have to give him the benefit of the doubt. Again, it's hard to do that, but the facts are they're still shaky.
Let me ask a question. Did a few years ago, actually it might have been last year, Conor McGregor, he got into an altercation with Khabib where he threw a dolly through like a bus.
Yeah.
Busted out the windows. Did he ever get punished for that by the UFC and Dana White?
He didn't get punished by the UFC. He got punished by the state of New York, I believe it was.
Okay, so even if this incident is true and McGregor didn't get punished by the UFC, does Jon Jones get punishment from the UFC, in your opinion?
Well, here's the difference is...
And let me just say this. In no way, shape, form, or fashion am I comparing an incident between two men, Conor and Khabib,
right,
to what Jon Jones allegedly did to this woman.
Right.
I'm not trying to equate the two.
And we're not going to try to make this a race thing because Conor's white and Jon Jones is black, nothing like that. But the difference between Conor and Jon Jones is Jon has repeatedly been in trouble with the UFC. Now, it's never been assault or anything like that. It's always been drug related. There have been like a hit and run kind of issue. I remember. But I don't know if the UFC punished him for that. That was his own thing.
He got banned for that.
Did he?
Because it happened along with the drug thing.
Okay, yeah. But you're not going to punish a guy in the UFC for committing a hit and run. You're doing it because it's the drugs. So to me, that's kind of the biggest difference is Jon Jones has been a repeat offender. He's been on the hit list of the UFC, if you get my drift. And this is just another episode of him not being able to control himself. So, Johnny Bones, get your life together. Figure it out.
Right, man.
This guy has a hell of a career that's already passed. He's got more that he can do, but he needs to straighten up. So, Johnny Bones Jones, because you are a habitual line stepper, you get this week's What the Moment of the Week. We'll be right back.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're going to continue the show covering our division leaders. This week, we're going to roll with the AFC North. That's Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cincinnati and the Cleveland Browns.
The Cleveland Browns. Put some respect on it.
The new America's team. No, I'm not going to go that
That's
far.
That's garbage, bro.
I know who I'm taking. I kind of just gave it away. Who you got?
So, I'm going to start out by saying this. I've always been a big believer in the classics. I'm a big believer in the tried and true. I'm a big believer in the norm, not the anomaly. So for that reason, until proven otherwise, give me Pittsburgh, dog.
I could kind of agree with you, but hell nah. They lost A.B., Le'Veon Bell. They don't have a defense.
That defense is going to turn it around.
Man, that defense is garbage.
We're going to see.
Give me Cleveland, man.
See,
that's the obvious pick.
See, that's my thing.
And I don't normally go with the obvious.
My thing is everybody's on that Cleveland bandwagon, and I get it.
So let me.
I get that. I mean, it's hard to argue the facts.
Let me kind of give you the rundown of why I'm taking Cleveland. Normally, I wouldn't take Cleveland, but I do think Baker Mayfield is a damn good quarterback.
And he gets to start all 16 this year.
Odell Beckham is a damn good receiver, top 3 easily.
Yes, sir.
You got a good slot receiver with Jarvis Landry.
Yes, sir.
Defense is stout.
Very. They built that defense first.
Really, the only thing I can question, they got a good running back duo now. Kareem Hunt after his, 6 games. And I think they still got Chubb.
Duke. They got Duke Johnson.
Him, but is he the one that wants out?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that wants out.
But yeah, Nick Chubb, too.
Nick Chubb, so you got a damn good running back room. The only thing in question.
Oh, they got Njoku tight end?
Yeah, Njoku. But the only thing in question with the Cleveland Browns, coaching. We don't know what their coach is about. Freddie Kitchens, who the hell is Freddie Kitchens?
Man, Freddie. I don't know, man.
I do believe with the talent that they have, the talent that they acquired, bro, that team should easily win that division next year. Easily.
So my biggest step back from Cleveland, man, who was the coach that was coaching them? It was their defensive coach last year.
We'll find it later.
Yeah, we'll get back to that. I'm gonna let T look that up while I keep talking here. But he did an amazing job once they got rid of Hugh Jackson.
Talking about Greg Williams.
Greg Williams, there you go. Thank you so much. Greg Williams really stepped up, man. He let Baker do his thing, and Baker showed out after Jackson left.
I agree.
So it really shocked me that they were not going to let Greg Williams just take over. Maybe he's not ready. I don't know what the situation was there as to why they decided against it, but I don't think he did a bad job.
No, he was a good coach, man. He did decent.
Yeah,
being an interim coach.
Yeah. So Freddie Kitchens comes in. You say that's the biggest question mark. I can see that. For me, again, I'm going with Pittsburgh just until proven otherwise. You want to be the king of the hill, you got to knock the guy off the hill. Pittsburgh stumbled at the very end last year and didn't make it into the playoffs, but there was a lot of noise, a lot of distractions, a lot of different things kind of going on. You get a full off season with the guys you know are going to be there, and now you're looking at Big Ben basically trying to prove that he's still the guy in Pittsburgh, and he's going to be throwing it to Juju now. Juju's the number one. You have James Conner heading the backfield back there, and again, the defense to me is always going to improve. Pittsburgh's always kind of been known for having that defense. Here's what surprised me.
1-year extension?
Pittsburgh with that 1-year extension on Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
That was a surprise to me, and here's why, in case you don't know. In the history of the Pittsburgh franchise, we've had three head coaches, and the guy that's the third head coach is the head coach now. What does that say about their belief in Mike Tomlin? I think last year they really thought he lost the team, especially with all the Le'Veon and AB distractions. Everybody's saying that they're kind of letting Big Ben run the show. I think Mike Tomlin getting just a 1-year extension puts him on the hot seat. I wouldn't expect that out of Pittsburgh, but, Yeah, I still think as a very, very famous personality once said, to be the man, you got to beat the man. Woo! I'll let y'all guess who that is. But to me right now, Pittsburgh is still the man. Cleveland, I think, is that young, hungry team. And they got a lot to prove, especially bringing in OBJ.
So
Cincinnati.
Well, before we go there, Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I want to say this. As a Dallas Cowboys fan, please let Mike Tomlin go so we can get Mike Tomlin. Please. And then I want to say this also. Bro, Pittsburgh defense been trash the last 3 years.
Bro,
trash.
They're gonna make that
absolute
turnaround.
garbage.
They'll turn it around.
The only thing Pittsburgh has had is offense the last 3 years, and half of the offense left.
More than half, 2/3 of that offense left.
So the Killer Bees, there's only one B left.
There's only one B.
Hey, I'm not questioning Big Ben as a quarterback. Big Ben is a damn good quarterback. He can spin the ball, man. He is all-time great. He's definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. But Pittsburgh is gonna have a hard time competing with Baltimore. To me, bro.
Baltimore looks good. I'm not all in on Lamar Jackson. That's just me.
I mean, I'm not all in on Lamar either because I don't think he could throw the ball like an NFL quarterback should at this point. They have great coaching there. They have an excellent defense. Excellent defense.
I like their head coach, bro. I like Harbaugh.
Yeah, Harbaugh is a great head coach, bro. Offensively, really the only thing I'm questioning is the quarterback, but we saw them make it to the playoffs with Lamar Jackson last year. Now, I do not think that same style of play is going to work this year.
It's not sustainable for 16 games. It's just not.
Well, not going into year 2.
No.
Year 1, when nobody has tape on you and you're fresh, you snuck in.
Yeah,
and we saw what happened once you got there.
You're looking at it like teams were not ready for that. There's no way to game plan for Flacco, and now you got Jackson in here.
Exactly.
You know, it'll catch you off guard. You've got some tape on him now. Again, that offense of running the quarterback, doing the options, that's all fine and good. We saw Washington try to do that with RG3 and Alfred Morris years ago, and where's RG3 now? Oh, yeah, he's Lamar Jackson's backup.
I mean, just with everything that's going on in Pittsburgh, I think that they're gonna have a dogfight with Baltimore to come in second place. But with the star power on paper, the Cleveland Browns should be atop that division, and it shouldn't even be close. Period.
I mean, we'll see. Like I said, to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Well, we know Pittsburgh is not the man based on last year.
Still the man. Now you look at the other two teams.
In Cincinnati,
the other team, Cincinnati.
Y'all are the Tampa Bay of the AFC North.
You guys are the step kids of that division, man. They're not doing enough.
Hey, don't they have Hugh Jackson?
He was a I don't want to say a mentor, but he was like a
special advisor.
Advisor, yes, he was in an advisory role for the Bengals. New head coach in Cincy, Marvin Lewis, is finally gone, but you still got the Red Rifle and AJ Green.
Who the hell is the Red Rifle?
Andy Dalton, bro.
Bro, that dude is garbage.
I'm not saying
he don't have
good.
No damn rifle.
I'm not saying he's good. I'm just saying that's who you got.
Bro, he is Jason Garrett.
They just signed Tyler Boyd to a 4-year deal. So I don't know, man. Cincinnati doesn't do anything for me. They're just kind of lost in that shuffle.
Losers.
They're still a couple of years away from being competitive. We'll see what the new head coach brings to that team, though.
I mean, I like AJ Green. I think they still got Joe Mixon.
Okay.
And it was another running back there. I forget his name. Giovanni Bernard. Was that his name?
Yeah.
I like that part of their offense. I think defensively, I mean, they have questions defensively, but Cincinnati has really.
It was like the Cincinnati Dallas Cowboys backfield. They had Pac-Man.
Yeah, like
Patrick.
Cincinnati really is known for their defense. Like,
yeah,
the AFC North is known for
Terrence
defense.
Newman, not Patrick Newman. Terrence Newman.
Yeah, the AFC North though, bro, is known for defense. All the teams have had defense. The Cincinnati Bengals had a good defense, but offensively,
But you
the
just told me Pittsburgh has not had a defense.
Yeah, the last 3 years.
Okay,
they haven't had no defense. But I'm saying historically.
That's what I said. Historically, you think about Pittsburgh, you think of that defense.
Historically.
That steel curtain defense.
I can't say what I really want to say, but back to Cincinnati, man, before you get me too far off topic. Cincinnati, they've had good defenses over the years. When they had the dirty linebacker there, Vontaze Burfict. But
that guy's the Draymond Green of the NFL.
Yeah, but he brought a certain energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he gonna bring it.
He was a dog.
Yeah. So offensively, bro, the only thing that I've seen in Cincinnati just the last few years is AJ Green, and he stays hurt. He's been hurt. So
yeah.
Andy Dalton is a bottom of the barrel quarterback to me.
I wouldn't draft that guy in my fantasy league. That's what I think about Andy Dalton.
For all you analysts that said Dak Prescott is a tier 3 quarterback, is saying he is equal to Andy Dalton.
Ooh,
that's like a smack in the face.
That is a hell of a slap to the face.
But we're not gonna go there yet. We're gonna talk about that in the next segment.
Right. So just kind of conclude the segment here. Our picks for the division winner in the AFC North. T's going with Cleveland. I'm rocking Pittsburgh. We'll find out how it all shakes out. We'll be right back after this.
Cleveland.
Thank you for staying with us, guys. We're coming back now, and we're going to continue on this segment. We're going to talk about what I think are going to be the top 10 quarterbacks, statistics-wise, in the NFL this year. I'm going to read them off. You guys just kind of let me know. You guys can kind of decide, what you think I'm right on, what you think I'm wrong on. I'm going to discuss it with T. T, you tell me what you think. You let me know if there's anybody you would say, no, he's gone. Let me get this guy in. Or if you're just like, yup, you know what? I agree with that. So this is the top 10, no particular order. First guy on my list, Patrick Mahomes.
I agree. Patrick Mahomes was great last year. 50 touchdowns, MVP. You have no choice but to put him on the list.
All righty. Next up, Super Bowl winner, Tom Brady.
You can never count Tom Brady out. He's proven at age 42 that he can still spin the ball. I'm not going to trash him right now. You guys know my opinions about Brady.
Number 3 on my list is your boy, Aaron Rodgers.
The GOAT. That's all I got to say.
Number 4, Russell Wilson.
Russell is Russell, man. As long as he's able to escape the pocket, spin out and do what Russell does, I think he'll be in the top 10 for a long time.
I hear this a lot about Russell Wilson, and I don't know if I agree. I don't know if it's just people from the outside looking in have this opinion of it, because I don't think people that really know football feel that way. But I hear this a lot. Russell Wilson is probably the most underrated quarterback in the NFL.
I agree.
I don't think people sleep on Russell Wilson. If you watch football and you know anything about the quarterback position, you're not sleeping on Russell Wilson.
Well, that's to us. Like, we watch football, analyze the game, analyze players.
Right.
Most people watch from a fan's perspective. They see these short guys, can barely see over the line of scrimmage. Like, their image of what a quarterback is stand tall in the pocket, throw the ball. When you get these guys that move around like the Russell Wilsons, the
Patty
Mahomes, and the Aaron Rodgers, it just shows you how great these guys are.
Yeah, but this guy won a Super Bowl on his rookie contract. He's not a scrub by any means.
No, but a lot of people argue that Super Bowl was carried by they were carried to the Super Bowl by their defense and Marshawn Lynch. But again, man, Russell Wilson is great. He's shown you that when you take the defense away from him, when you take Marshawn Lynch away from him, he can still get your team to the playoffs.
When your number one is Doug Baldwin
and your number two is Tyler Lockett,
and you're still, competing for a playoff spot, your guys got to be worth this salt. Number 5 on the list, easy breezy, Drew Brees.
Yeah, man, you can never count Drew Brees out, especially when he has Sean Payton in his back pocket. Again, another short guy.
Yeah.
You cloud what's immediately in front of them, in front of the center. He's not able to move around like
he's
Russell Wilson, but he can.
Yeah, he's not dynamically versatile, but he can get around.
But he can stand in the pocket and spin it as well. He'll take a lick.
Right. Then you have Philip Crimea Rivers.
I like Phillip Rivers, man. They have some damn good receivers out there. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and Phillip.
Hopefully Melvin Gordon.
Maybe. But he has this awkward as hell throwing motion, and it just seems to work.
I do not. That's the one thing about Phillip Rivers that I just cannot deal with, man, is that release. He throws the ball like a shot put. It looks heavy. The ball looks heavy coming out of his hand. If you've never seen it, just Google or YouTube some Phillip Rivers highlights of this guy throwing the ball. It's an unorthodox throw. The motion is unorthodox. The way it comes out of his hand, just the way it looks. The ball just looks like a weight that he's just chunking out of his hand. It's strange, but it works.
It works.
It's effective. To me, I think Phillip Rivers is a guy that is grossly underrated. I think he has more of a case than Russell Wilson because everybody just kind of takes for granted the quarterback there in L.A. And
speaking of the Chargers,
yeah, everybody takes him for granted. The guy's just, he just brings his little hard hat and lunchbox, man.
Well, the reason that they do is because he's never been able to, make it to the big game. He can't get over the hump. Who knows, man? Last year they made it to the playoffs.
12-4, we talked about that.
Ran up against Tom Brady up in New England and Bill Belichick, and everything that they did up to that point just didn't work.
Then we have Big Ben.
Big Ben can still spin it at his age.
He's still throwing the rock everywhere. That team...
He's literally throwing it everywhere.
That team is pretty 50-50 to me. They'll throw the ball a lot, but they run the ball a lot. They use the running back a lot.
To catch out of the backfield.
Right.
The thing with me with Big Ben, man, like for the last few years, you've had one of the top 2 running backs. You had a top 3 receiver. Some people would argue he's number 1 in Antonio Brown. You lost those weapons. Now you just got Juju. You have a couple draft picks. They actually have a guy that we had, Ryan Switzer. Now, I'm not trying to take anything away from Big Ben, but when you have those weapons in Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell,
yeah,
it makes life a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
Like we've seen Big Ben put the blame on other people when he's throwing interceptions or, Antonio ran the wrong route. Antonio was supposed to be here.
Oh, yeah.
Le'Veon was supposed to be here.
He's real quick to throw somebody under the bus.
So I think at this point, man, Big Ben, I still think you're a good quarterback, but show me something.
Number 8 on my list, Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck, yeah, man, he had a great season last year coming back from injury. He had an MVP type season.
Andrew Luck started out in the league really hot.
Yeah.
Him and RG3 were the big two. They were kind of like the Goff and Wentz now, and everybody was comparing those two guys. RG3 had immediate success. His team was a little bit more built and ready to compete, and everybody just kind of gave Andrew Luck the side eye, like, he's good, but look at RG3. Longevity has proven to be on the side of Andrew Luck. He's had a resurgence in his career. He was playing hurt for a couple of seasons. He had the shoulder surgery, and now when you look at him, the guy he's back to Pro Bowl play as of last year. And I think if he can continue with that momentum that he had from last year, he's going to look good again in 2019.
Andrew Luck is a really good quarterback, but coming out the draft straight to Indy, we heard the comparisons to Peyton Manning. Those
are big shoes to fill.
Exactly, man. And it was supposed to be, you live up to the hype
mm-hmm.
of what this guy was. Like you said, he got hurt. They had some bad years, man. They had a terrible offensive line. It was mediocre at best.
Now that offensive line is stout.
Yeah, they've fixed that. They got good coaching in there now. T.Y. Hilton is a great receiver.
Still doing his thing.
And just overall as a team, they have a pretty decent team as a whole. Andrew Luck should definitely be in the top 10, man. I agree with that.
Okay, and then the last two, these two are kind of my question marks. Number 9, Baker Mayfield. Now, I have Baker in the top 10, not so much based on what we've seen because he's only played partial season so far. He's never started all 16, but just kind of getting the small sample size that we got from him and seeing some of the off-season acquisitions that Cleveland's kind of put together, I think this guy's got the potential to be a winner. He's been a winner everywhere he's gone, whether it be high school, college, or now. Baker's in my top 10. Again, these are just my predictions for the 2019 season. I could be wrong. He could freaking go out there and
stink it up.
Yeah, he crapped the bed. But that's just one of my two that had a little asterisk next to it. What do you think?
I think Baker should definitely be in the top 10, and my next statement is not to take anything away from Baker Mayfield, but if you got the talent that he has, you better be in the top 10. You got Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, and Njoku, and a good running game. Your ass better be in the top 10, Baker Mayfield. But Baker Mayfield is a really good quarterback, man. He, in that small sample size that we had last year, had he played a full 16, Cleveland probably would have made the playoffs. So again, not to take anything away from Baker Mayfield and his ability to throw the football. If you look at him, he has nice mechanics. He sets his feet, boom, hits it. He made a throw in Carolina. I forget if it was late in the season or early in the season, but he made a throw. He split a defender, and that let me know this dude is going to be a star.
Yeah, that guy's well on his way. So with all the new additions, with the new head coach, everything, we'll see where he ends up at the end of the year. But I'm excited to see him play. Last on my list, and there was a couple names that we kind of floated around pre-show. Some of the names I threw your way, you were just like, man, that's crazy. I threw this name out. You told me it was kind of crazy. You went and did the research, came back to me, and you're like, man, you know what? I can see that. Number 10 on my list is Deshaun Watson. The reason why I have him in my top 10 is the guy has all the intangibles. He's young, he's athletic, he's got a great arm, he's got one of the most dangerous weapons in the NFL, and his defense plays up to the challenge for him. So they keep the ball in his hand. I think he's got everything it takes. He's got all the makings for a top 10 quarterback. Is he going to be the number one guy? No, but will he be in the top third of the league? Yes.
I definitely agree, man. When you got one of the best wide receivers in football in DeAndre Hopkins, you got to be in the top 10, man. I think Deshaun Watson is a dual threat quarterback who can spin the ball, man. He has an immaculate arm talent. He has a good run game. He's able to get away from defenders that are coming after him. And then a lot of people trash Bill O'Brien, but Bill O'Brien really hasn't had any talent down there in Houston offensively at the quarterback position to call him into question. I think Deshaun Watson is definitely in the top 10, man.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So, again, that's my list. Those are my picks. A couple of honorable mentions. Matt Ryan, I struggle to keep him off the list, especially after the season he had last year. I don't know what he's got left. He played at an MVP-type caliber pace last year, but they just weren't successful. Stats-wise, again, I just struggle to keep him off the list. He is an honorable mention. The other guy that I kept off the list that I told you about, and you were just like, no, there's no way. There was two. Was Carson Wentz. The only reason I kept him off the list was I don't know how healthy he can be. I don't know what he's going to do. I'm not impressed with his receiving core.
You don't think that receiving core got better with Deshaun Jackson?
No, he's older. He's an older guy. They still have Alshon.
He's still a 4-2 guy. You don't care?
Nah, he doesn't do it for me. He's old. The other guy that I think just kind of barely missed the list was Kirk Cousins. And to me, he has Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen. He's got the big tight end I think it's Rudolph.
Kyle Rudolph.
Kyle Rudolph. So, I mean, the guy's got weapons. To me, he's got the arm. He just doesn't have the best decision-making skills, and that's what gets him in a bind. He's a gunslinger like Romo, like Favre, but he also makes mistakes like Romo, like Favre. You live by the sword, you die by the sword with that guy.
I know this isn't my list, but obviously I disagree with those two picks. I'm never going to mention Kirk Cousins in the same light as even Romo or Brett Favre. Now, I do think he's Tony Romo-esque.
Well, I'm not saying they're the same caliber. I'm saying they're the same.
They take the same chances.
Same play style.
As far as Carson Wentz goes,
it's hard. It's hard to give credit to an Eagles team.
It's really not that.
When you're a Cowboys guy, I get it.
No, I
get it.
just do not see the great quarterback that everybody sees in Carson Wentz. We have one good season of Carson Wentz.
Maybe it's because he hasn't been healthy long enough. He hasn't consistently done it.
We have one good season of Carson Wentz. One good season. That was his second year. He got hurt. It really has nothing to do with the injuries because when it's all said and done, Aaron Rodgers was hurt the year before and last year. And I still say Aaron Rodgers is a damn good quarterback, and he comes down to Dallas and kills us. Mm-hmm. Every single time.
Yeah.
45 seconds left in the game. I do not want Aaron Rodgers with the ball. And I don't like Green Bay.
Right.
But I can't sit here and say, man, Aaron Rodgers sucks because he plays for a team that I don't like.
Right.
It's not that I don't like Philadelphia as to why I wouldn't put Carson Wentz in the top 10, but I would take Jared Goff over Carson Wentz at this stage, at this time. I'll let you take it from there, man. But just to, piggyback off what you were saying with the honorable mentions, my feelings on Matt Ryan.
Matty Ice.
Yeah, his ass is on ice. I would definitely put Matt Ryan in the top 10 before I put Carson Wentz up there, Kirk Cousins up there. I mean, like you said, he had the year he won the MVP in 2016. Statistically, his season last year was damn near equivalent.
Yeah.
And they didn't make the playoffs.
And when I'm looking at this list, the only guy that really stands out to me was Patrick Mahomes, because when you look at it, this list that I have, it's a lot of the old guard still kind of ruling the roost. You know what I'm saying? You have Patrick Mahomes, who's, I believe, the youngest quarterback on the list, if not one of the. But then you have Baker Mayfield and Deshaun Watson. I don't consider Andrew Luck one of the young guys.
No. He's an elder statesman.
Right. He's kind of that in-between guy. He's like a sophomore, junior guy. But all the other guys, they're kind of like the freshmen, the Mahomes, the Watson, the Bakers. Those guys are the new class coming up. And I can see even maybe by next year, those guys taking over as to where you have a Brady, Rodgers, Breeze, Rivers, Big Ben. Russell Wilson's still in his little prime. He's he's a little older than Andrew Luck, but he's still right there with him. So
just to ask you a question before we wrap it up, and I didn't mean to cut you off like that, but who do you think statistically on this list is going to have the best year next year?
Mahomes.
Going with Mahomes?
Patrick Mahomes. I hesitate a little bit with that. It didn't sound like it, but I hesitate a little bit with that just because there's tape on him now. If I was going to go with the next guy, it would probably be Phillip Rivers as the next guy after Mahomes. Those guys were 12-4 in their own division last year. Those guys were very competitive. They scored a lot of points. Those are the two guys that I'm sticking with, Mahomes and Rivers. Who do you got?
It's not my list. It is not my list.
I'm asking you, who do you think is going to have the best stats out of that group?
Looking at this list, and I do agree with the names that you have on here, but Aaron Rodgers is going to have the best season next year.
Those of you listening, were you surprised? Were you surprised to hear that name?
Look, he was 25-2 last year, playing hurt.
Played 11 games.
Let him be fully healthy. We just looked at his numbers
That's my thing, though, is let him be fully healthy. You can say that about Carson Wentz. The other thing with Aaron Rodgers is he's getting older. The other thing with Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if he has an offensive line that's as good as Philly's. I'm not saying that Philly's is great, but I don't know if Green Bay's line is better than Philly's. Plus, Aaron Rodgers can't. He's starting to get the injury bug a little more and more now.
But we're not gonna debate.
We're not gonna speak ill of Aaron Rodgers on this podcast.
We gotta play the GOAT next year, so I don't want him to murk us because of what you're saying.
I'm putting all that bad juju on him. I promise you. I can't wait, man. I'm eager to see who's gonna rise to the top. You guys heard it here first, who my picks are. And at the end of the year, I'll be more than happy to tell you guys I told you so. We'll be right back.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We're going to end the show with the holdout of Ezekiel Elliott over his contract dispute.
You dirty mother...
Shut your mouth.
I'm just talking about Zeke.
I'm kind of disappointed, but I expected it to happen. I would have thought that Zeke would be out there with the guys, participating in the drills. But when you want a new contract, man, I understand it's a business, just like the team understands it, the player understands it. You got to do what's in the best interest of yourself, especially with how we've been running Zeke, or the amount of touches that he's had. And we saw towards the end of last year, he started, looking a little injured. Actually, it was the middle of last year.
And a loss of step.
I mean, I get it. I definitely get it. You got to do what's in the best interest of you, so you don't go out there in training camp and get hurt and then don't get paid.
Right.
But at the same time, man, Jane Slater posted a picture on her Instagram of Ezekiel Elliott eating lunch in Plano with his agent and another unknown party, not too far from the Star. So he didn't make the plane to Oxnard. It appeared that he had been working out. That sounds good, but we need you out there on the field, Zeke. We need you on the field, man.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this. I mean, realistically, the guy's got 4 years left with the Cowboys. It's this year, next year, his 5th-year option. And if we wanted to, 2 franchise tags. With the franchise tags, we're definitely going to pay you more money just because it's
guaranteed.
The average. Yeah, it's the average. And you're guaranteed that money.
I think the franchise tag is bull jive.
I mean, but I don't think you should be able to franchise the same player more than once. Just me, but whatever. To me, you look at Zeke, and he's got leverage, and he doesn't have leverage. We talked about it last week on the podcast. You have a guy that is the featured back in a run-first offense, led the league in rushing 2 out of the 3 years that he's played, made top 10 the year that he didn't lead it, and he was in the top 10 after missing 6 games.
This is true.
The guy's consistently shown to improve his game every year. He's always been a phenomenal runner. Then he's a pass blocker. Now he's a pass catcher. He can line up, in the slot. He can line up outside. He can line up in the backfield. He can do it all. The thing about it is, on the flip side of that coin, you have a guy that can't stay out of trouble. That's what he can't do. He can't get his act together. He can't get it right. And I told him last week, I'll tell him again, get your life together, bro. Get it together. If he wasn't a distraction off the field, this will be a no-brainer. This will be how much do you want? Let's talk about it.
Do it right now.
But because you can't get your act together, because you can't straighten up, because we don't know what kind of incident you're going to be reported on next, how do you expect us to just be like, here's the keys to the house? We can't do that.
Now, and just to play devil's advocate, I looked at a press conference that Jerry held yesterday with Jason Garrett and Steven. And I forget the reporter. I want to say it was Clarence Hill. They asked if Jerry had been in contact with Zeke or his agent over contract. And Jerry said, yes, he has. He limited it to, yes, I have, or yes, we have. So that could be a good sign that look, I don't think the Cowboys are letting Zeke go. I don't think he's going anywhere.
No.
Now, it's reported that he wants more money than Todd Gurley. Statistically, he deserves it. Like you said, he's led the league in rushing 2 out of 3 years. He was top 10 the second year. He missed 6 games. You know, pay the man. But
I think I heard somewhere where it wasn't so much I want more than Todd Gurley. I want significantly more than Todd Gurley is what I heard. I could be wrong.
Wow.
But think about that. Todd Gurley's making, I believe it's like 14 a year. Let's give Zeke 15. Let's give him a little more guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean,
why not?
It's just, bro, you got to get your act together off the field.
You have to. We cannot invest our money in you. You got to remember, you still have Amari Cooper and Dak Prescott to pay. Which one of those two guys have you ever heard on TMZ acting a damn fool?
Neither one of them.
Which one of those two guys have you ever heard a complaint from?
I've seen Dak act a mini fool when he's been out with Zeke. But other than that,
you don't even know he's there, bro. He looks like paparazzi. He's just standing there. You've never heard those guys ever being an issue off the field. You've never heard those guys have character issues. You've never heard those guys out past curfew, whatever, and doing things they shouldn't be doing. That makes it easier to negotiate and try to get those guys secured.
I agree.
So, Zeke, if you're listening, I doubt you are, but if you ever hear this, Zeke, you're too much of a talent to let go to waste. Don't be another Josh Gordon, who I mentioned earlier, who had all the talent in the world but couldn't get it right off the field. His were drug-related issues, but still, immense talent, can't get right. Another running back, immense talent, couldn't get right, Ricky Williams.
Yeah.
Again, that's another drug thing, but again, it's off-the-field issues. That's talent going to waste because you don't know how to behave. Zeke's got everything going for him, but he's shooting himself in the foot at every turn. Just behave yourself and you will get paid, and paid handsomely for what you're worth, because you are worth your weight in gold, my friend. But your attitude, your behavior stinks.
Yeah, so with that, man, we want to end the show with thanking everybody for tuning in.
Very much.
Taking the time out to listen. Hopefully you guys can provide us with, your takes on the topics that we had today. We look forward to hearing back from you guys.
If you guys get a chance, man, hit me up on Facebook, hit me up on Instagram. Look out for our T-shirts that we have. We have a new shirt out. It's a 214 shirt signifying Dak and Zeke, the 2-1 and the 4. Look it up. If you want any information on the T-shirts that you can buy, all that money goes to supporting the podcast. That money goes to bettering our equipment. We're trying to get some video stuff up. So anything you can donate, anything you can contribute helps immensely to help get our product bigger and better. So please don't hesitate. Reach out to Tafari. He can help us out in that way too. So,
I'll get you right.
So please, again, don't hesitate to reach out. Show us the love like you always do. We look forward to doing this for you guys every week, and we thank you again for taking the time to hang with us and listen to what we have to say. Have a good week.